Hey everyone, welcome to JUENFO Kitchen where we just enjoy food. So let's enjoy this delicious Jamaican Easter bun. Alright guys, so before I start, I just wanted to let you know that the recipe that I have linked below is for one bun. But I've doubled my ingredients here because I'll be making a few more to give away. Remember that this video will be a part of the Easter recipes playlist, so you can check that out. The link will be above as well as in the description below. So over here we have our dry ingredients and here we have our wet ingredients. So starting off with the flour, I have some all-purpose flour here, same thing as counter flour, and I've already sifted this. Please ensure that you sift your flour. Do not skip this step because you don't want to see white lumps throughout your bun. That can be very unappealing. Here we have some brown sugar. I personally don't like my bun to be too sweet, so I've scaled back the sugar a bit by 1/4 cup. Plus we'll be adding some honey to the bun as well, so I've made room for that by cutting back the sugar. In this bowl right here I have some soaked mixed fruits. So one of the things that differentiates Easter bun from any other type of bun is the soaked fruits. So these are some fruits that I had soaking from Christmas. So what I did was to just strain off the excess liquid and also to cut up the bigger pieces of fruit like prunes and so forth to match the size of the raisins. I have a video on how to soak your fruits that I'll link above as well as in the description below. So these are raisins, prunes and mixed peels and a few cherries. But you don't necessarily need to use the same types of fruits here that I'm using. And you don't need to soak your fruits for that long. You can soak them for a few hours or overnight. So here we have our spices. So starting off we have our nutmeg here. I'm using freshly grated. Fresh is best, but if you have grounded you can use that instead. Here we have cinnamon, some baking spice. Here we have ginger powder, some salt and baking powder. And just in case I forgot to mention earlier, mixed spice is the same thing as baking spice. So moving on to my wet ingredients. Here I have some butter. You can use salted or unsalted, it doesn't really matter. The salted butter just helps to balance out the sweetness a bit. I have some browning for color, some orange marmalade here. So you can use any type of jam, jelly or marmalade for your bun. I have orange marmalade, so that is what I'll be using today. And this one has the peels in it, but that is fine because by the time we're finished baking our bun as well as mixing our ingredients, you won't be able to tell. So if you're using orange marmalade like I am and it has the peels, that's fine, you can still use it. Here I have some molasses, and this will help to give the bun some color as well, which is why I'm using less browning because we don't want our bun to be too black. In here we have some honey, and here we have our vanilla extract. Here we have our eggs and our dragon stout. If you don't have dragon stout, you can substitute for some Guinness as well, or for a non-alcoholic version you can use Malta. Bear in mind though that one dragon is exactly 1 1/4 cup. So if you're using any other liquid other than dragon for this recipe, make sure that it's 1 1/4 cup. And if you live outside the Caribbean, you should be able to find ingredients like your dragon at any Caribbean grocery store or any store that carries an international aisle. I know that this may seem like a lot of ingredients, but it's way less complicated than it seems. Once we mix together all our wet ingredients, it's basically a two-step process. And just a quick tip, if you're going to lay out your ingredients like I have mine here, for the stickier ingredients such as your honey and molasses and so forth, you can either spray or brush some oil in your container before you pour in your ingredients. It makes them so much easier to come out. So in my pot right here, we're going to combine our wet ingredients. So I'm going to start by melting my butter. And we're doing our wet ingredients first because we're going to have to give it some time to cool down before we add it to our dry ingredients. Next, I'm going to add my stout, honey, and you want to keep your flame on low heat. We're not boiling our mixture, we're just warming it enough in order to melt and dissolve our ingredients. Up next, our molasses, marmalade, vanilla extract, and our browning. And last but not least, our sugar. So once I've added my sugar, which is my last ingredient, I'm going to turn my flame off and then continue stirring until everything has dissolved. So one of the good things about this is that you can always taste and adjust according to your preference. So say for example, you have decided to add a little less sugar than I have in the beginning. At this point, you can always taste and see if it's to your liking and adjust if necessary. So we're going to leave this for a few minutes in order for it to cool down. If you want to speed up the process, you can always put it in your fridge. Just don't let your butter solidify. Alright, so it has been exactly 40 minutes. My liquid has cooled down enough. You want to get that to room temperature or as close to room temperature as possible. And now would be a good time to go ahead and preheat your oven. I've already done that. I've preheated my oven to 175 degrees Celsius, same thing as 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So to my flour here, I'm going to add my spices. And I'm going to coat my fruits in my flour. And coating your fruits helps them to hold their position and prevents them from sinking to the bottom. So my camera stopped filming a bit, so what I did was to make a little well in the center and pour in my wet ingredients. So I'm just gonna pour in the rest and then beat the eggs and then pour them right in as well. And our bun smells so delicious, guys. I hope you get a chance to try this recipe. So I have 3 tins here. I'm going to pour half of my batter in this large one, and then the other half I'll divide between these 2 small ones. So this one is a 10 by 6, 10 in length and 6 in width. And these 2 smaller ones are 7 by 4, 7 in length and 4 in width. I know that these are non-stick, but I still like to butter them just to be on the safe side. So what I forgot to mention earlier is that you want to reserve a couple tablespoons of your fruits in order to spread them on the top, if you prefer to do so. I'm going to add some chopped up cherries as well for a pop of color. And I'm going to bake these for about 1 hour. So my buns are now finished. They were in the oven for exactly 55 minutes. So now I'm going to make a glaze for the top, which is what gives the bun that nice glossy finish. Here I have reserved the liquid that I drained from the fruits that I put in my bun, and this happens to be exactly 1/4 cup. You can also use the same liquid that you use to bake your bun. In this case, we use the dragon, so you can use some of that, or you can use some wine. You can use some red label wine, which is this right here, for those who don't know. This is actually what I use to soak the fruits. As a matter of fact, any red wine will do, and some good old plain water can be used as well. To this, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons or so of honey, and just let that dissolve and heat up a bit. And there you have it, everyone. Homemade Jamaican Easter bun. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it to be helpful. If you did, hit the like button, share and subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Join the family and help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Remember to check out the Easter recipes playlist, and if you try any of my recipes, you're welcome to tag me on Instagram at JUENFO_, and don't forget to follow me as well. Follow me on all my other socials, which are also linked down in the description. Thanks for watching, and until next time, live life to the fullest and just enjoy food.